Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan, and by the way, that was Durga the Cat, formerly known as Durga the Kitten. She's on top of the refrigerator, and I think that she was just shaking her ears out, or shaking her neck out, or shaking something out, because she shook a lot of things on top of the refrigerator, which aren't that many things, but I digress. I hope you and yours in YouTube land are happy and healthy, safe and well. Right now, the time is approximately 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Sunday, December 6th, 2020. Pardon me, I have an itch. The hair is growing back on my beard, so it's making a little itching. Those of you who have shaved things in the past, you know. And I'm leaving it at that, because if I were to go into more detail, that would be another topic for another tube channel, for another video, for another day. But you know what I mean. Anyway, the moon is waning in Virgo, and the sun is transiting in Sagittarius. This is WEDIN Day 27. What are your pantheons? You know, I've mentioned before the priestess of Grove Argentum. For those of you who don't know, Grove Argentum is a Manhattan-based chapter of the International Fellowship of Isis. Excuse me, the International Fellowship of the Goddess Isis. They changed their name to include the term goddess because of the nonsense with that ISIS terrorist group. Don't even get me started on that, because that is another topic for another video for another day. And I'm not Robert Alvarez, the psychic ranter and raver. I'm Robert Alvarez, the psychic witch, but I digress. So, she has said that in ancient Greece, one only venerated one particular god or goddess. And I have no issue with that. I have no issue having one celestial mother, and I refer to her as Oset, which is one of the goddess Isis's ancient Egyptian names. She is indeed the goddess who gave birth to my soul, as far as I'm concerned, as far as she's concerned. However, in my life, there are other goddesses that I call on for other reasons. I'm Cuban. I'm of Cuban descent, so I have a connection to the religious path and the spiritual path, more commonly known as Santeria. In Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the United States, it's more commonly known as Santeria. But Oshun, I have been told on numerous occasions, would be my mother if I was an initiate of the magical and spiritual path that I love referring to by one of its ancient African names, Lukumi, which translates as friendship. And over the years, I have developed an affinity with the Pantheon, or rather, more specifically, the Loa of Vodou. Now, I am not a practitioner of Lukumi or Santeria. I am not a practitioner of Vodou. However, I feel an affinity with those pantheons, with those goddesses and gods. And they call to me. I still remember the first time I read about Ezeli Danto. Now, for the record, Ezeli Freda Dahomey is the love goddess of the Azilis, and she's the only one of them that passes for white. All the others, black as pitch. They will not pass for white in this world, in Bizarro world, in this multiverse, or any multiverse. They are blacker than black. They are so black, they need a syllable. They need an extra syllable. Because some people are black and some people are black. My late maternal grandmother's grandmother was black. She was not black. She was so black, she needed an extra syllable. Black. Black. Because some people are that black. Anyway, so I consider the ancient Egyptian pantheon, or the Kimetic pantheon, my primary pantheon. I consider the pantheon of Lukumi my secondary pantheon. And the pantheon of Vodou I consider my third pantheon. Now, am I devoted to all of them? In my own way, yes. Am I a devotee of all of them? Absolutely, yes. Am I an initiate in all of them? No. I have never been formally initiated into the pantheon of Kemet, or Al-Kemet, the ancient name or the original name for ancient Egypt. I'm sure that there is an official initiation ceremony into the pantheon of ancient Egypt, but I don't know about it. I have never heard of it. I have never seen it online, offline, etc. And the fact of the matter is that because of my connection to Africa, through being Afro-Cuban, through having a maternal grandmother from having a maternal grandmother to a maternal grandmother who was a black woman, because of the connection that the Caribbean and Caribbean countries have to Africa, I do feel this affinity to Lukumi, to the Orishas, to Vodou, to the Loa. Nonetheless, I also know that I need to work with the deities that call to me. You know, I'm not Mexican, and yet I had this strong affinity with Santa Muerte. And I didn't always have an affinity with her because at first I was frightened of her. And I learned more about her. You know, it's very common and very popular to say that all the drug dealers go to her. But here's the thing about Santa Muerte. Santa Muerte doesn't care if you're black, if you're white, if you are Hispanic, if you are non-Hispanic, if you are Mexican, if you are non-Mexican, if you are rich, if you are poor, if you are X, Y, Z, AABB. She doesn't care if you are married or single, if you have children, don't have children, if you are gay, if you are straight, if you are bisexual, asexual, transgender, etc., etc., etc. What she cares about is if you come to her with a clear mind and a pure heart. Like, don't be trying to lie to her, don't be trying to talk shit to her, don't be trying to talk out your neck. Be like, okay, this is what's on my mind and this is what I need most from you right now. And I've always found it interesting. So many of the most demonized of goddesses are the ones that welcome the outcasts, welcome the weirdos and the queerdos, weirdos and queerdos, witches and warlocks, necromancers, diviners, gay people, drag queens, all the ones that are cast out from the masses, the ones that nobody wants anything to do with. Those are the demonized goddesses that are saying, welcome, I open my arms to you, I open my heart to you. I find that fascinating. I always find that fascinating. Just like I find it fascinating that virtually every poisonous herb has, as a common magical quality, protection. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. I don't think that is at all a coincidence. I find it fascinating, and I find it, to be perfectly blunt, non-surprising. Or rather, unsurprising. I'm telling you, this Twinings lemon and ginger tea I couldn't stand at first. I really enjoy the taste. Yes, I do primarily drink it for medicinal purposes, like to, you know, clear my throat and soothe my throat if like it's a little scratchy or whatever. But I have come to enjoy the taste of it. And yes, I do add lemon as well as honey. So there. It's just so good. It's tart. But yeah, so YouTube land. And those of you who are wedding along with Ember Honey Raven and all of us in November, what are your pantheons? And who are the deities that are not necessarily of your primary pantheon that also call to you? I'd love to, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to hear about it. Anyway, as always, all of you in YouTube land, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Of course, thank you for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, and all the subscriptions to my YouTube channel. And thank you to all of you who have been scheduling your sessions. And especially those of you who have been scheduling your sessions from Friday, December 11th through Sunday, December 13th, 2020, when I have the honor and pleasure of being back at Notions and Potions in beautiful Beacon, New York, or as I love to call it, freaking Beacon, baby. I wish all of you so many bright blessings and so many magical miracles for you and for yours in YouTube land. And of course, stay tuned for the next video.